Hey, what's going on? Facebook Friday. It's Eric here, your host. We are happy to have you. We're doing another outside show looking over the lagoon and the ocean here. We got the Carlsbad power plant here in the background. It's kind of a cloudy day, but it's kind of bright out, so I'm going to wear my orange shades. Anyway, thanks for joining us this week. We do the show every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So thanks for joining us this week. We are going to talk about ISA. So if you're not familiar with what an ISA is, it's a big real estate term. A lot of agents use them. They're called internal sales agents. And so we're going to dive right into what they are, how to use them. And most people, like I said, in the real estate industry use them, but we're going to actually talk about how to use them in other businesses too. So this should be a good show. So let's just jump right into it, I guess. So what's an ISA? An ISA is an internal sales agent. We talked about that. It's basically the person who stays in the office every day who generates leads for the business. So they're on the phone, they're outbound calling, they're trying to generate appointments, sales calls, basically one-on-ones with the business and a potential client. So if you're in real estate, you're going to be calling for sell by owners, you're going to be calling expireds, you're basically trying to get in front of homeowners who are thinking about selling so that real estate agent can generate new business for their team. If you're in another business, maybe you're an accountant and you're trying to get in front of businesses who want to use your services. So you're going to call local businesses and see who they use for their accounting, try to set up an appointment to maybe do a review of their last year's taxes. If you're a chiropractor, maybe you're trying to talk to people who've been in an auto accident recently and trying to find out how you can help them get back on their feet, get their back in repair. If you're a mortgage lender, maybe you're trying to connect with real estate agents and help them provide funding for their buyers. Maybe you're trying to get refinances, so you're going to actually be calling people who've had higher interest rates. Maybe they can now get a lower interest rate. There's a whole bunch of different ideas here. Let's keep going. Basically, your ISA is there to help you generate more business and more leads and more opportunities for you so that you can go out and close these business deals and not have to be in the office all the time trying to stay on the phone. So there's going to be a ratio of how many people that you need to call to convert one of these to a lead. That may be 100 conversations to one, it may be 10 conversations to one. It really kind of depends who you're calling. So I want to go over the who, what, where, when, why, all that kind of stuff of what an ISA can be used for. So we talked about the who, the what is an ISA, and we talked about who needs them. Basically real estate agents, insurance agents, mortgage lenders, car dealers, dentists, accountants, chiropractors, contractors, anybody that sells. Think about all those industry and who your potential client is and what you're trying to say to them. So instead of you going out and drumming up your own business, basically an ISA will start that conversation off. It'll get your message out there. It'll get you in front of new people that you maybe never have talked to before. And that's what an ISA is going to do. They're just going to start that conversation, see who's motivated, see who's interested in talking to you, maybe either that day or in the next couple months as they become ready to make that transaction and do something with your business. So, okay, where? So where should they call? Well, you can have farms, right? So most real estate agents will have like a geographical farm, like a certain block radius, a couple homes, a zip code, things like that. If you're a chiropractor, you're probably looking for a local kind of 3 to 5 mile radius of businesses or people who live within that business area that you want to work with. If you're an auto dealer, people probably drive 20-30 miles to go buy a car, so maybe you have a little bit bigger of a range. It just kind of depends on how far out you're willing to go. So basically you're going to create like a geo fence around a certain area, pull all the phone numbers for that area and call those people specifically. Maybe you have a social demographic, so maybe you work with a certain age, certain sex, certain type of buyer that you're looking for. So maybe there's a certain demographic that you're looking for who's going to want to be talked to. So if you're a contractor, right, you're looking for homeowners, not renters, right? So that's the social demographic that you're looking for. Okay, next question. Why? Why do you need them? Well, it's all scalability for me. You're trying to find the most leads and opportunities that you can get in front of the fastest way possible. So I was actually the ISA manager for our last real estate team for a while. I was in charge of directing about 4 callers every day to get on the phone, find potential motivated sellers and buyers who wanted to work with our team, and then get them in front of our real estate agents so that we could either help them buy or sell a property. So we were calling, like I said before, for sell by owners. We were calling people who had their house listed who didn't sell with their agent. We had people who maybe looked at homes online who hadn't bought anything yet. We've had a term called circle calling. So basically we'd pick a whole neighborhood that we had recently listed a house for, and we'd call all the neighbors and say, who do you know that wants to buy this house? And so we had, like I said, 4 people on the phone all day. We were probably calling about 1,000 people a day in that office, and it was great. We had a lot of good conversations. We built up a lot of now business and a lot of future business. And I think that that's really the important thing to think about, is filling that pipeline. A lot of businesses kind of have a curve where they don't have much going on, so they go, and they try to find more business, and they get so busy that they have to shut off their lead gen, and then they take care of all that business, and then their pipeline slows down. And so if you have an ISA member, I keep using that reference, so remember what it is. If you have an ISA member who's just constantly on the phone, filling up your pipeline, you can continue to scale your business and continue to ramp up. Let's say you get to the point where you're so busy that you can't go on any more appointments. You can now actually hire another sales consultant in your team to go and close some of these leads. So that allows you more time in your business to do the higher generating dollar amount items that you can take care of. So you, again, are trying to get in front of as many leads as possible every single day. That's the point of marketing, right? That's why people create Facebook ads. That's why people send out mailers. That's why you have marketing. So this is just another way of getting your message out in front of potential clients who've maybe never heard your message before. So that's the why. For me, it's just scalability. It allows you to get to the next level. It takes the lead generation off of your plate and gives it to somebody else so that you can go focus on the higher productivity items. Okay, when should they call? We found that most people pick up the phone between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. It means they're getting off work, they're either driving, they're commuting somewhere, they're picking up their kids, or they're at home making dinner, things like that. They're going to be around. If you call, from maybe 8 in the morning till noon, they're busy, they're getting things done, they're probably at a normal job or doing things like that. They're not answering the phone. Some people will, obviously, some people are at home doing their thing, but the best, highest likely time to answer the phone is usually that 3 to 5 p.m. So it's about 5 hours of solid, good calling time. And you're thinking, well, I'm going to bug people when they're at home. There's a lot of people who are calling till 9, 10 at night, which is getting kind of annoying. So if you cut it off at 8, maybe you're still okay. But I wouldn't be afraid of that. If people don't want to answer the phone, they're going to send you a voicemail. Leave a voicemail. Tell them why you're calling. Tell them the purpose of it. It'll just resonate with them, and then the next time you call, they'll remember who you are. Depends, obviously, too. If you're calling business to business, so if you're a business selling to a business, you probably don't want to call at 8 o'clock at night if you know that they are closed at 5. So maybe you're going to change your hours of calling. But if you're calling to the consumer, the person who's an end buyer, maybe at home, you probably want to call from 3 to 5 or adjust those times according to you. But that's when we had the best results. Other thoughts. So we covered who, what, where, when, why, other thoughts. Okay. Like I was saying before, using an ISA can generate now business. It's going to get you out the door to go meet with people now, because you're going to find people who, when you call them, say, yeah, I have been thinking about doing this, but I haven't known who to talk to, or I'm not sure who to talk to. Come over, give me a quote, let's talk about it. And then you're also going to get the people who say, that's something that I've been thinking about, but it's still a year or two away from me, so stay in touch with me. And that's my next point, and we've talked about this before, is staying in touch with potential clients. So get their email address, make sure you got all the right contact info, their name, what they're interested in, and what they're going to be buying or doing with you in the next year or two. So take all that down, put it into your CRM, and follow up, right? Start sending them emails every week, start putting stuff in front of them so that when they do go to make that decision, number one, they trust you because you've been talking to them this whole time and you've been providing everything that they wanted to know. And then number two is you're just there and you're going to be the person that they think of when it's time to buy. So you don't want them to think about it, put that seed in their mind, and then later they're like, man, what was that guy's name who called me? Well, I don't know, I'm going to go buy from this guy because he's here in my life right now. So you got to stay in touch with the people that are way out there and just keep dripping on them with that message all the time. And then you're going to ask for the motivation, right? So it doesn't hurt to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, if you tell me no now, that's okay. When are you thinking about buying this product or doing this service? Are you thinking about buying a new car in 6 months? Are you going to be buying a house in a year? What's kind of your time frame? Let them tell you, and probably cut that time in half, because people overestimate what happens and life changes and things come up. So you just, again, want to be there and follow up with them. That's another point of an ISA. You don't just generate new business with it, but you actually want to follow up with the old business. An email is great, a newsletter is great, maybe seeing an advertisement on your Facebook page is great, but if you can call your past sphere, your past database, people that you've known, worked with, that hear your messages, try to call them every 2 to 4 times a year just to say, hey, how's it going? Is there anything I can provide you? Who do you know that wants to buy or use my service? Who can I get a referral from you for? Just pick up the phone and stay in contact with them. So maybe you pick out your top 100 A clients that you physically want to talk to on the phone every couple months, but maybe there's the people that have never bought from you but still know who you are. Get that ISA on the phone, get them a good script, get them the phone numbers, and just have them call and touch base, even if they're just leaving messages. Hi John, it's been a while. I'm just reaching out to you, just want to see how things are going. Is there anything that we can do for you? That type of a message. So that's a great way of using them. And then also, you're gonna call people who are like, no, I'm not interested, maybe in the future, I'm busy right now, and hang up. Okay, that's the first call. Maybe the second and the third call, they're gonna start remembering who you are, they're gonna recognize your message, they're gonna get a little bit more friendly with you. That's the time to start adding more contact information. So now it's the third time you've called. Hey, I've called you a couple times, has anything changed? Yeah, we're thinking about doing this now. I haven't thought about it before, but now we are. Great, can I get your email address? I'd like to start sending you some product information. So just keep asking for little tidbits along the way of information and what you can do to stay in contact with them. So now, where do you get this information? Where do you find phone numbers of people to call? Because that's the next big question. Maybe you have a good database, maybe you have thousands of people in your database that you can call, but maybe you need new numbers, right? Maybe you need phone numbers of businesses around you, maybe you need phone numbers of consumers around you. There's a lot of places to go. One of the great places we've looked at is called Exact Data. So you can sort it out by age, location, interest, what that business does, how many employees are there. If you're looking at marketing towards businesses, they have all that data. So if you go to exactdata.com, that's a great place to check out. They can give you names, phone numbers, email addresses, business addresses, all types of information for trying to stay in contact with people. If you're looking for somebody to be an ISA for you, so maybe you don't want to go out and hire somebody to be on the phone all day in your office, maybe you work at home, maybe you don't want somebody in your office, you just want to be able to outsource this. You probably heard of it before, but Upworks is a great place. You can actually go on there and find people who can call. They range from like 20 to 40 hours a week that they're willing to call for you. So you basically interview a whole bunch of them. You find somebody that kind of fits the category that you're looking for, give them a script, role play with them, see how they work, and then just put them to work, right? Give them a phone number. Use something like Google Voice to dial. You can even get a dialer like Mojo or one of these dialer programs that lets you just call until you get somebody on the phone. Those are great sources. So check out Upworks. And then the last one, I actually just found this the other day. It's a really cool program called, upcall.com. So upcall.com, basically you go to their site, you build this campaign and say, I want to call these people, I want to call this list, I want to call them this many times, and here's the script I want to say, and they'll do all the work for you. So it's kind of like a monthly cost. You basically give them 500 to 50,000 people and just say, here you go, here's what I'm trying to say to these people, and they'll call for you, and they'll give you the results. So they'll say, hey, I talked to this guy, he wants to meet with you. It really depends on what your outcome is. You want to sell them a product, you want to invite them to an event, you want to capture a lead and more information. They'll do whatever you want. It sounds like a great service. I haven't used them yet, but they seem like a really cool company to work out. So check out upcall.com for that. Anyway, I totally believe in ISAs. I know that calling is still a huge thing. People still pick up their phones. There's a lot of follow-up that you can do with it. So I encourage you to definitely look into an ISA. And if you haven't done it already, maybe start just lead gen through your own phone calling efforts. Get on the phone an hour a day, try it out, try some scripts. It's hard to teach somebody else how to do something if you haven't done it yet. So try to figure out what scripts work for you, what you're gonna say to people on the phone, where you're gonna get stuck in that conversation, where that fork in the road goes of how you're gonna close somebody. So again, this isn't really necessarily digital marketing, but it's a way to generate new business and then stay in touch with them through a digital manner. So anyway, I hope this information helps. I'm a big believer in ISAs, and I hope your businesses are going well. We are definitely through the middle of the summer. It doesn't look like it here in Carlsbad, but August is upon us. So hope you guys are doing well in your business. Thanks for following us each week on Facebook Friday. As I mentioned before, we're here every Friday, 10 a.m., trying to give you marketing tips in business for your life and helping you increase business. So we will see you next week. Thanks again.